Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of the Revell CSS Alabama build. And show you where I am at this point. I've got the bridge done, and I'll see if I can get close to the camera for that. As you can see, this is the scaledex.com wood, and then here's the kit railing, and that's the kit part underneath. Pretty neat how that turned out. More things to add. When you look at pictures, right about here there is navigation lights for both sides, so we'll do that eventually. Also have the ship's boats complete. The Alabama had 5 boats in all, 2 on each side and then 1 over the stern. And I'll see if I can get that done. I'll get it close where you can see it. I painted the boats black. The Revell instructions have them as white. However, when you look at photographs and read the descriptions from Captain Sims and others, he said the boats are black. So the way I painted them, I used gloss black, put some engine gray in there, and then a little bit of a dull coat type on there to tone it down a bit. I think that turned out pretty good. Typical in ships' boats, they would have stores in the ships for use when the boats were deployed. On the Alabama, they were boarding other merchant ships quite often, so the boats were always in use. I'll get close there, you can see that. That's the dinghy that goes in the back. They have the oars and a few crates and whatnot in there. Here's one of the whale boats. Oars, a couple of crates, put a sail in there as well. These boats got used every day. Sometimes twice a day they were boarding other ships. So got quite a bit of use once the Alabama set sail. Alright, what else am I doing here? 2 books I've been reading. One is by Summerall, and that is the CSS Alabama Builder, Captain and Plans. The other one I found is a very rare book, CSS Alabama Anatomy of a Confederate Raider. And that book was pretty tough to find. In fact, my local library got it on loan from another library, and they said they can only keep it for a week and they wouldn't take it out of the library. So I went to the library and took a picture of every page in that book. But what I can show you is, let's see here, I'll try and get it going with the camera. We've had to cut out the gun ports on the side, and some that were already cut out with the kit were fairly accurate, but there were several new ports we had to cut. And so I'll show you that. Let's see here. In the front, this was already there. Had to cut this one. And let's make sure I get this right. This was here. That was cut in. The scuppers were put in underneath. And as you can see, I'm still fixing some of my mistakes, but this was cut in. On both sides, whereas the entryway, and cut those down. That was there. And let's see, this was here, put the scuppers in. Had to cut this one out. And then to the back here. I don't know if you can see it with my background the way it is, but basically had to cut this one as well right there. So those are fairly accurate, at least I think they're accurate. From the second book I mentioned, Andrew Bocock wrote that book, and a really great reference book. Boy, it's out of print and hard to find, but if you can get one on loan from a library, get hold of it if you want to do this model. It's about indispensable. So what's coming next? Well, I want to clean up the sides here, get that looking good. On the deck here, we'll put this ship together. Right now I just have it kind of in place without glue. Let's see if I can get this correct here. I need to turn on this light. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. The kit deck is here. This is from scaledex.com. That is that very thin. It's made of wood, and it's sized to fit, and that will go there. And I have the longer piece that will fit on the aft part. Of note, when it glues right to the deck, And when you put the deck together, make sure there's no gaps like you see right here. The ScaleDecks.com wood overlay is sized perfectly to this, and if you don't have the deck pieces perfectly aligned, then the wood deck itself won't go on correctly. Oh, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, on the ship's boats, if you look on the bottom there, you'll see some wood flooring, and that was some extra material from the ScaleDecks.com. So I thought that was a neat little feature to add to that. So that's what's coming up next on here. Other things, like I mentioned in the last video, most of the deck furniture, the deck fittings, is either not quite right or just plain wrong. So I've been looking at all the photographs and reading those 2 books I mentioned, and trying to modify these things as best I can. I'm not going to show you every piece here, but just a few of them. They look about like that. Let's see here, maybe show that. There we go. There's the funnel. Captain Sims in one of the books had a description of the Alabama, and he said all the deck furniture, all the fittings were black. So that's what I'm going to paint. And I'll use the same color combinations I did with the boats. I believe that turned out pretty neat, and I think that will look really nice. You know what, I'm thinking about other things here on the back. There are some decorations in the back, but that was all facade, so I'll have to clean that up and modify it. Other things on here. I'll get started with the cannon next time, and if I can do this right, I'm going to take my phone down here and show you all this stuff. As you can see, these are the ship's cannons, and these are the cottage industry pieces. These 2 are the same. You can see how different in scale they are. Here are some of the broadside guns. That's the kit's cannon, and that's the real cannon with the correct size. So you can see quite a difference. And in any event, that will be next on the list. Once we get the ship built up correctly, we'll start installing the deck furniture, get the deck on itself, and hopefully get the hull done in fairly short order. Another thing that's interesting, I'm planning on putting this on a wood base and have it on water and sailing. And a good friend of mine, a world-class woodworker, is making a really nice base for that. So I think that will be really neat. Again, I'm looking at different ideas about flickering lights on the inside for the boiler room that you would be able to see through the skylight and through the funnel. And I'm hoping that will turn out pretty neat. And let's see, I believe that is about it for now. Thanks for watching. And again, in part 3, we'll be on our way to getting the hull and the deck furniture complete and getting started on the cannons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.